The event starts at 6:30. We open doors at 6, and we noticed the problem at 4:30. There were 550 people who bought tickets. We only had 300 seats. We had a very short time to figure out what to do. We were brainstorming from let's get everybody to sit on the floor to that extent.
Okay. Hi, welcome back. This is Hazriq Idrus, and we are back with this program called the Creative Fridays. With me, you have a very special person to share. Alright, he is actually the founder of Safinah behind here. Alright, and he is also the author of The Art of Letting Go as well as Praise for Success. With this, let me introduce you, Ustaz Mizi Wahid. Hi Ustaz, how are you? Waalaikumsalam. Thank you for coming, Ustaz, to Creative Fridays. Alright, so like I mentioned, this program is to find out about creativity. So probably let me just ask you our first question. What is actually creativity to you, sir?
Okay, thank you very much, Hazriq, for having me. Creativity to me is first of all, I'm all for creativity. I am in the industry of da'wah, which is religion, spirituality, and to me, creativity is required in order for you to get that outreach to people. Creativity to me is not necessarily something that is 100% original. That's what a lot of people think. This person is creative because, wow, it's so original. But originality does not mean that you start from scratch. In fact, most times when people even think that they are 100% original, they're not, because they're copying from some other person, or they are merging two concepts together, or it's a fusion of many things. And so I feel that as long as you add in that extra 5, 10, 15% sometimes, something different, something unique, something that is uniquely you or your brand, if you're a company, for example, or a person, then that's what makes it special.
So can I say that it's actually an addition to something already there?
Yeah, it could be. The addition could be 80%, it could be 10%, but sometimes small little tweaks can cause it to be very different. I mean, just yesterday we saw in the newspaper they launched nasi lemak burger. So I'm not gonna try that, but but that's like taking it sounds and looks original, but it's nasi lemak and it's burger, two unoriginal things.
Yes.
So sometimes it's something like that.
So my next question would be like, if you have faced some problems or challenges in your life, and how do you manage it? How do you actually solve it?
I think my team did it once.
Okay.
The concept of thinking out of the box.
Yep.
I think that is something that I practice, and something we do as a team as well. To me, stepping out of the box means taking a few steps back and taking a look at the bigger picture. I think that is very important, because sometimes when we are trying to solve a problem and we see ourselves inside the problem, if we are inside the box, it's very hard to figure out how to solve the issue if we don't have a full view of it. Michael Gerber, there's this small business trainer. He's quite popular. His books are called the E-Myth Mastery. He has many training programs. I first studied his program in the early 2000s. He was one of the, probably I think he's the first to actually talk about the difference between working in the business and working on the business. So a lot of people, when they are faced with problems, let's say inside their business or inside their work place, they are thinking from being in the business or in the work that they do. And it's very hard for you to see how can I get out of this situation. Imagine yourself being in a maze and then actually having a drone that you fly above you, and then now you have a full view of it.
Yeah.
That's like thinking out of the box. That's having a full view of it. That's taking a few steps back. So I think that is very important, and the only way to do that, I think, is to actually pause, take a few steps back, take a deep breath, stop all the rush of emotions for a while maybe, and then you can I like to blend objectivity with creativity.
That's interesting.
Because sometimes sometimes we get, the term is shock sendiri. Sometimes we get overly excited with our own ideas, and it doesn't work as well or as effectively as we would like it to. There was this one big event that we did. There were 550 people at the event. there was some miscommunication between some of my team members and the venue provider. So the miscommunication was quite big. Okay, there were 550 people who bought tickets. We only had 300 seats. The event starts at 6:30. We open doors at 6, and we noticed the problem at 4:30. So they had a very short time to figure out what to do. We were brainstorming from let's get everybody to sit on the floor to that extent.
Okay, that's one of the possible options, yeah.
Which was going to be crazy. But then somebody, as we were in a huddle discussing, and one of my team members took a step back and then shut everyone out, from her ears and her thoughts. And she just thought, okay, what can we do? Then she remembered, because only maybe a few weeks back, we did another project with another organization that was nearby that venue, and we knew that they had lots of chairs because we did event with them. And so she immediately contacted them and was able to, solve the problem. And we were still stuck. This is an example of in and out.
Yes.
We were still stuck. What are we going to do? Are we going to tell them now? Are we going to start posting on social media saying, sorry, we have a problem with chairs. Some of you might have to sit on the floor. That kind of thing. We were thinking of the worst case scenario. Somebody just decided to just shut everything out and then think on their own for a while, and then was able to come up with a solution.
So that was the
so
solution.
Within an hour, we had our volunteers. Somebody got a lorry, miraculously got a lorry within an hour, and then 15 people went there and then came back with another 200 overchairs.
Safinah Institute has been around since 2009, and we have actually personally have seen it grows. So probably if you could show the audience, as the founder of Safinah Institute, what are the things you do to encourage creativity or embrace creativity culture in the organization?
I think firstly, there is a bit of stubbornness between myself and some of my key team members. The stubbornness is more of us not liking to be typical in what we do. We don't like to be typical.
Okay.
We like to be different, and we want to stand out, but not just for the sake of being different. The difference must add value to our target audience.
Okay.
And so that stubbornness actually helps, because no matter how interesting we see an idea out there, if it's already been carried out by somebody else, we will not touch it, or we will try our best not to to get involved in something that has already been done with someone else. So that is one of the first things. The next few things would be, whenever we have new staff or young interns, I like to expose them to the stuff I read. So reading is another thing that helps a lot. I also like to sit with them whenever we do brainstorming. So our meetings are sometimes meetings to discuss operations and finance and stuff. But then there are meetings where they are actually more to brainstorming sessions. And these are my most favorite moments, during the day. Because what keeps me and Safinah going, I think, for the many years, apart from the other many factors, is that we love to create. So the word creativity also comes from creation, right?
Yes,
So we love to create new things. We have now, I think, 100 programs that were created by us.
Wow.
Over 9 years. And this does not count the projects that we did for organizations, like the B2B stuff. This does not include the programs that we did not eventually launch. So it's quite a lot. But, there are some training organizations that whenever a few programs work, they like to recycle it. They like to run it again and again and again, which makes perfect business sense. If something works, you don't change it. For us, we do that only to maybe less than 10 of that 100.
Okay.
The rest, we like to always challenge ourselves, stretch our creativity, and come up with something new. And I think it has been appreciated by our loyal followers, and at the same time, it attracts new people as well when they see something new, something refreshing that is being offered.
All right. So then you mentioned that the team will have brainstorming session. Do you advocate certain time of the week or to do that?
Currently, there isn't any fixed day in a week, but at least once a week we would do it together, face to face. But I think every other day, on email or WhatsApp or other platforms that we use like Slack, there's always discussions ongoing.
So let me just go deeper on that part. During the discussion, is there any like hindrance, or some people say, this is not a good idea? Do you face that, or everybody is very collectively embracing your ideas?
We always start with the mindset that no idea is a bad idea.
Okay.
So everybody just chip in.
All right.
And I think that gives people the license to just share whatever that's on their mind.
Nice.
Of course, occasionally, some ideas will be laughed at, but together,
Yeah.
we're not laughing we're not laughing at the idea, but laughing at the wittiness of the idea. So we like to write a lot, so I think writing helps because creativity is more right brain and it's visual. So we we have lots of big whiteboards in the office, so we like to draw huge mind maps, and then that also helps.
Thank you very much, Ustaz Mizi. And maybe as a parting shot, you could provide 1 or 2 tips to the audience on how they can embrace or encourage creativity.
I'll give you one, inshallah, that has worked really, really well for me. And of course, I did this by chance. It wasn't a conscious thing, but then I realized it's what works best. And that is, because I was trained in Islamic religious field of study. There was a time when I was about 18, which was like last year at 18, I started reading non-school textbooks, non-university textbooks. So this meant that I was reading a lot of the religious texts, and then I was going on to read personal development books and stuff like that. I was attending programs and workshops and seminars on that area. And so what happened was that I was able to harmonize the two ideas together, and then I do something that is very common in my industry, but then I add a little bit of spark and creativity coming from something else. So that fusion. So I would recommend, if you are, let's say, you are in the restaurant business, maybe it wouldn't be too crazy or too far-fetched for you to be reading books on sports, and then somehow blend them together. If you are a trainer like yourself, and then you do, let's say, public speaking, try to look into examples of activities that come from a completely different industry that's got nothing to do, and then see how can you bring it inside. I think you've done some of it, like bringing acting and drama inside. So something like that usually makes you unique, special, and original.
Thank you for that wonderful insight, Ustaz Mizi, and we really thank you for your time, and we wish you all the best in your business as well.
Thank you very much.
Catch us on Creative Fridays. With that, Hazriq Idrus signing off. With Ustaz Mizi. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.